Hey everyone, it's Chris Gore. How you doing? I hope you're having a happy Friday. We got through another week in 2021. How are we all feeling tonight? I'm feeling good because we are about to see a film that really defies description. It's partially a comedy. It's a tragedy. It's about our times. It's also a borderline science fiction. I feel it resonates now more than ever. And it's a movie that I think you're going to be excited to watch. We have the director, the cast, the filmmakers behind the scenes. Join me for another Film Threat watch party. I want to remind you that we're watching the movie Lapsis, and you need to get the film. I have the film. It's queued up right here on my iPad, and I bought it on Vudu. And you can rent it, buy it. It's on video on demand. Get it, because in about 15 minutes, we're all going to press play and watch Lapsis together with the filmmakers. Before I bring the filmmakers on and introduce them, I want to say hi to you and hope you're having a good evening. And I want to tell you about our event, Award This. Now, look, you know me. I've been doing Film Threat for years, and I am a huge champion of smaller indie movies. I love them. Indie sci-fi, comedy, horror, thrillers. You're truly independent films. I love those movies. And it's award season. And what movies get forgotten at award season? It's always the smaller indie movies, right? So I created this event called Award This. And let me just give you a little taste of what this event may be like.
In a world where every award show is a fucking Zoom call, comes Award This. From your pals at Film Threat comes a celebration of true independent films. Join us on April 10th at a socially distanced drive-in. In fact, I'll be there as your announcer, wearing a hazmat suit and inside a giant Bacta tank. And prepare for a virtual award show unlike any other ever in the history of mankind. Or awards kind. Award This 2021. It's happening, whether you like it or not. Drive-in live event on Saturday, April 10th. Virtual award show on Sunday, April 18th. Get tickets now at awardthis.com.
Now, I know that we're not going to the Oscars, okay? Unless you're a nominated filmmaker, you're not going to the Oscars. You're not even going to the Spirit Awards, but you know what? You can get a ticket to Award This. We're doing it at a socially distanced drive-in. Yes, Epic Voice Guy John Bailey will be there, along with all the nominated filmmakers. In fact, if you go to filmthreat.com right now, we announced all the nominated films. It's, almost like 70 independent films, truly independent films, all categories. I'm really proud of the work that the Film Threat staff has done. It's culled together from over 2,000 independent films that we reviewed last year. They're all eligible, and we got it down to our nominees. So check it out. Go to awardthis.com. Now, our film Lapsis is so difficult to describe, and I mean this in a good way, because it's very funny. It's also very poignant. It's also, I feel, some ways, it's got a hint of tragedy. It's also very smart, and I quite enjoyed this film. It got a great review on Film Threat, so look that up. I'd like to show you the trailer. You need to see the trailer right now for the film before I bring everyone on. I really want you to discover this movie. So I'm going to see how technically savvy that I can be right now as I share screen and queue up. I'm going to queue up the trailer right now, and let's watch it. Let's watch the trailer together. How's that look? Yes, good. Put myself in the small screen here, and let's watch the trailer for Lapsis.
Welcome to the unlimited possibilities of the quantum.
Action required. Press drop.
Keebler users are the engines of the global quantum trading boom.
People make like thousands in a weekend. So how about I do it for a little while, and I'll do it as needed until you get better.
Hey, how's it going, Ray?
The best cablers are the ones who aren't afraid to challenge their status quo.
Is it for sure safe?
Yeah, it's totally safe.
Route complete. Time to continue your adventure.
I got passed by an automated cart.
Okay, so I got passed. So how do I get my route back?
Now you have to pass it.
I need you to put your head down and cable. I'm just out here working like everybody else.
Cabling is a private monopoly. They have chosen to abuse us.
Remember, the best cablers are the ones who aren't afraid to challenge their status quo.
Route complete. You deserve a rest.
All right. So you have now seen the trailer, and I noticed a nice quote from Film Threat there, which was really cool to see. Let's bring on the director.
Real. And then we find out that the next chapter of The Mandalorian is the book of Boba Fett.
And here we go. Noah, how are you, sir?
Hey, Chris. Great to be here. Thank you guys for hosting this.
Well, this is a lot of fun because one of my favorite parts of this is, one, I love to interview filmmakers on the Film Threat podcast, and especially doing the watch parties is a treat for me because it really is a live DVD commentary. And speaking of commentary, your comments are part of this discussion. So post your questions for Noah here. This movie premiered at South by Southwest, right? About just under a year ago.
It did, but that was the first film festival to be canceled at the beginning of COVID. So this group that's going to be here tonight, that is here, that I'm about to introduce to watch the film with everybody, we were all supposed to go down there in March, and then up to a week before, we thought that's where we were going to all reunite and watch the film together for the first time. So it obviously that didn't happen. None of us have seen each other. Well, some of us have, but many of the cast and crew have not seen each other since making the movie. So here we are tonight. It's super exciting, and thank you for giving us that reunion atmosphere. I hope people enjoy watching with us.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. I have so many questions about the film. If you obviously, for those watching, if you saw the trailer, if you've seen this movie before, it's going to be a completely different experience to watch it with the cast and with Noah. Before we bring everybody on in just a minute or so, what inspired this? I feel like there's something in the zeitgeist about it because it seems to resonate more and more, especially with Prop 22 in California about gig workers. And I feel this is with all the talk about gig workers and how they're treated. I mean, this movie, when I saw it, just really resonated with me. I mean, I have friends that are gig workers and whatnot, and this seems very inspired by that.
Absolutely. I personally have never done any gig work, but I have been an independent contractor freelancer for a decade. And so I think that was part of the inspiration, was just the way that work can feel like the people that too. I'm sure everyone can, relate to that feeling of like the treadmill of gig to gig lifestyle. And, not in the process, not having healthcare and sort of having to figure out your own equipment and different things along the way. That was one aspect of it, I think. I think the other big part of it was then where the sci-fi element comes in a little more. I'm a big science nerd, I'd say. Have a background in studying neuroscience. I'm working on a documentary about neuroscience on the side of this, but I started reading about quantum everything. And one thing I read that stuck in my brain, I couldn't not think of, was the fact that quantum computing is going to require new cabling. It will require new types of cable to connect the quantum infrastructure. So when I saw that detail, thinking of how the gig economy then has its tentacles kind of coming into every element of our life, it started to create the sense of this new world that, I don't know if this is a year in the future or something. I'm not saying that. We always like to talk about this as a kind of parallel present. And so we took our world and offset it slightly.
Well, I mean, you could put Lapsis in the category of independent sci-fi, but I feel like you've predicted something that is kind of now, right? I mean, it just seems so, it just really resonated with me. And what I love is that you kept a lot of the real specific details kind of, you didn't over explain it, is what I'm saying. And I think that probably explains someone in the chat mentioned that it's an Independent Spirit Award nominee for screenplay.
Yeah, we were so lucky. We got Best First Screenplay nomination for Lapsis. So that was very surprising, but very honored to be in that category. Thank you.
That's great. Congrats. So you'll be going to the Spirit Awards.
I can't wait to pack my bags and go to the beach. And no, it's all virtual.
Are they doing it all virtual, the Spirit Awards this year? I actually don't know. So
yeah, it's a virtual affair. So
well, either way, you get an award either way. So that's good. I want to remind everybody before we bring the rest of the filmmakers and the cast on, I want to remind you, this is your last warning, get the movie Lapsis right now. It's on Amazon, it's on iTunes, it's on Vudu. That's where I downloaded it. I've got my iPad right here queued up, ready to watch Lapsis. You need to do that too, because we're going to start the movie in about 5 minutes. But let's bring everybody on. Noah, this is kind of a reunion for you as well. So let's bring everybody on the live stream here. We have Dean Imperial, our lead. We have Madeline also, who's one of the leads. How is everybody doing tonight?
Better now.
Pretty good.
So should I maybe introduce everyone?
Yes,
what they do?
please, Noah. Yeah.
Great.
And I'll be monitoring the chat.
Excellent. So you've introduced, well, I'll again say here we have Dean Imperial, Madeline Wise, our two leads. We also have Babe Howard. He's also a lead. Let's be honest, he's a lead. And then we have Jesse Miller, producer of the film. And I should mention that one of the games I'd like to play tonight, if people want to make it a drinking game, that's their decision. But it's spot the producer cameo. Some of them are more obvious, but so we have Jesse Miller. We have Joe Varka, also producer of the film and man of many talents, and Taylor Hess, producer and script supervisor, also on the set.
I tried to pull out my big binder, but I couldn't find it. I didn't have enough time.
So that's our crew tonight, and we have a special guest waiting in the wings. That waiting in the wings by choice or by tech problems. We'll be the judge of that. We'll see.
Well, people can definitely join in the middle. We've had that happen. There are no rules for these watch parties. So we're just going to go with the flow here, but we have a really active chat. So I'll be throwing up questions from the chat. I think a lot of people are just saying hi. I just want to remind everybody that you need to to participate in this watch party. Get the movie right now. There's a link you can go to if you can't find it, but a quick search is gonna show you how to get the film. Really easy. I bought it on Vudu. So Noah will do a countdown. We'll all press play at the same time. And for everyone here, if you have the film, you could be playing it in the background, at least to kind of see where we are in it. Maybe you know it by heart by now. I'm not sure. And we want to thank everyone from Film Movement. This is an organization that has put out some amazing work for years. And we really appreciate their support and the fact that they have supported so many great independent films over the years. So hi to everyone at Film Movement. I think Arliss is about to join. Should we bring Arliss on?
Oh, let's do it. Here's our special guest. We have the one and only Arliss Howard.
Arliss's video isn't on right now.
Do we have?
We have a part of him. We'll have more of him soon.
Maybe
Arliss is using the quantum internet tonight.
They're still working out the kinks.
Now, assuming, let's say if this were a film festival, right? You know what a film festival, remember those when we used to do those in person? Those were the days. But if you were about to introduce this movie to a film festival screening audience, what would you say, Noah, and everyone from the cast and behind the scenes? Like, what would you tell everyone who has not seen this movie what they're about to experience? We got to see the trailer, but what can you tell them to look for other than producer cameos? And I want to pay attention to who's drinking then, because I'll join you. But how would you introduce this if you were at a film festival? What do you want to get people prepared for? And what do you want to say before we all press play in just a few minutes?
Well, I would like anyone else to take this as well, but I'll just say I would say, in addition to what we've already said, that this film was really made by a true family of people who give everything to the project, who worked so hard, and I think we all believed in the story we were telling, and we were led by some wonderful actors in the front of the production, Dean and Madeline, who just gave it their all. And we shot in the summer of 2019. It was about a 26-day shoot, 3/4 of which were in the forest. 1 week was in Queens. And so I think as we go, we'll start to see that those locations materialize, and we'll talk about what the shoot was like. But I just want to like underline the group effort here, because it truly was.
That's awesome. Does anyone else want to say a few words before we get ready to press play?
I want to say one thing, and this is a compliment to Noah, that you will never see a movie anything like this. Ever. Like, it is as original as you get. And as far as I'm concerned, as a fellow, cineast, I would say for Noah, like, that's the highest compliment you can give a filmmaker. Like, that's what I would say right up top,
I don't know, Dean. I described this movie as blue-collar sci-fi, and I see you've got a blue-collar poster behind you, so I'm a little worried about that comp.
And that's a coincidence. I wouldn't want anyone to think that I curated the back of my background and that I spent maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours trying to get the lighting right or anything like that. None of that's true. That's just coincidence.
Dean, how long did it take you to pick out your outfit?
Well, you don't know this, but this is what I wear every day. literally, and no one can
confirm that.
I can confirm that. This outfit, and I'm on day 3 of this particular version of the black and black. I'm on day 3. I don't mind saying that. It's
All right, we better get in here, Chris. We better get in.
All right, let's get into the. But I agree with Dean. This is a wholly original vision, and what I love about it is the world is so layered. It just seems real. It just seems like this is so well thought through that this feels like it will. It will exist in the next year, or it's coming soon. Something that's similar to this. So are you all excited to see it? Everyone watching, you've got the movie queued up. We're on some second device that you can hear us while you watch the film. And is everybody here ready to press play? You've got the film on something that you can watch in the background?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Noah, you should probably do the honors, the countdown, and we'll start watching the movie. Keep your audio a little bit low, but just so we can have our conversation, and I'll be monitoring the chat. It's this is going to be a lot of fun, and I have several questions that are going to come up.
Okay, here we go. Let's do the old quantum count from 4. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
I missed quantum counting. That was such fun.
It's rated 16 plus.
No, in all seriousness.
Really?
Right here.
All right. Well, if everyone's watching the same movie I am, we should be seeing a room now of people sitting and watching the wall.
We didn't really have to do very, very much to this room, production design wise.
No. Joe, I want you to go ahead and lead us through what you had to do for this to pull this off.
So you can't see me, but I'm right in that hallway right over there, and I have a remote that I am trying to turn on the DVD player in the corner there, and timing
and
it.
You're gonna need to do it exactly at the right moment, right?
Yes, like right when he hits it with his hand, I'm trying to hit play exactly when he does that.
Mm-hmm. It's tough working with analog equipment. That was one thing. All the videos like this one we did practically, which had its own challenges, as Joe was talking about. But here was our first one.
I can't wait to see if it works.
Not the yep.
Here it is.
Ah.
I love those gloves.
Yeah, they're great.
They're a little sinister too.
What about the COVID mask?
I was going to say that the mask is perfect for.
That's right. Now more than ever, Lapsis.
What well, I mean, we'll find out later what Lapsis is, but what inspired the name? Can you talk about that?
I honestly, Chris, the whole phrase Lapsis Beef Tech arrived inside of my brain somehow. I don't know where it came from. I honestly, I'm not just saying that it was not inspired by any other words. It just kind of came in. That's truthfully.
What's the algorithm?
Yeah, go ahead.
For the cabling name generator, it's not anagrams of your name. Can you talk about the algorithm? We've created a create your own cabling name website, and all I'll say is there was a long night spent putting the building blocks of that website into a spreadsheet. So we've created lists of potential blocks of names that get randomly combined. Oh.
So something happens in this scene that's weird, and I don't know. Well, here it's about to happen. Oh, there we go. Now we're walking back the other way. So we were walking one way down the street, and now we're walking the other way. I don't expect many people to notice that, but it's something we like to call it. It's a little quantum toggle. There's a few of those in the movie, but that was one.
It's good to start by pointing out the quantum toggles right off the bat.
Yeah.
That could be another rule for the drinking game every time there's a quantum toggle.
That's right.
Yeah.
God, Portia's so good too.
It's really good.
Amazing.
What went into the design of the graphics for the app? I mean, there are scenes where Dean's character will click on the app and it seems like it's an active thing. Did you design like a stripped down app that worked, or was it just graphics? No, I mean, it felt real to me.
All graphics.
Really? Okay.
That Dean had to painstakingly time how to press.
Oh my God, that was the hardest thing in the entire shoot.
Well, there's also an audio track in those that Noah did, and counted down to when he had to press.
Oh God,
each of the.
That was the most stressful
video
thing in
stream.
the entire shoot. Rock climbing, mountain climbing. that was the most stressful thing, was timing the finger to that. Nothing stressed me out more in the entire shoot than timing the finger on the screen.
We're getting ahead of ourselves though, because we haven't seen the app yet.
Right. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I just keep watching the movie. I forget that
we
we're
are
supposed to be talking.
Right.
But it's so nice to be watching the movie.
I know. In one sense, we are supposed to be watching the movie right now. But yeah.
Nah. I got bored.
I like that Babe spends most of this movie looking like shit. Just like horrible dark circles under your eyes.
It's the biggest stretch I've ever had to do as an actor.
Yeah, looking anything other than like bright-eyed and bushy.
Fabulous. Yeah, that's right.
So Dean, we shot all this after you had already been in the woods and done the rest of the movie. Was that challenging at all or not?
No, it was a relief to not be in the woods anymore. So it wasn't challenging anymore because like the physical, it was like learning the lines was easier when you don't have to have the physical challenge. So like I was just happy not to be pulling anything, which you'll see later.
Here we have the great Richard Cooper dropping it, just laying it out in this scene, I would say.
This is not a producer, but I think we could do a mini drink for a member of the crew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
For Chandler being the...
Yes.
It's kind of great that this movie just starts with 2 scenes with people who came in for the day and just left it all on the floor. You got Portia and Richard Cooper back to back. It's like, that's big energy.
Yeah.
The big prop of which we saw in the trailer, we'll see later, the big, I don't know, sort of hub, right? Like, is that what, I don't know, is that the correct way to, the giant.
The cube?
The cube, yeah, the cube sort of mysterious hub thing. What went into making that? I mean, it seems so.
Well, why don't let's wait till we get there. Because I don't want to.
Okay.
But I appreciate that.
Jumping ahead.
I know people. I'm just reserving the possibility that someone is watching this for the first time. I don't know that's kind of a crazy way to watch it for the first time. But if you are, bless you, and and let's let the cube happen.
Yes.
I'm curious, Noah, if you can maybe talk about how you came up with this gig that Ray is doing here. This lost luggage. Like, what is this?
Oh yeah. I had a suspicion that there might be some scams going on at LaGuardia after twice having my luggage be lost. And then the thing to top of that was when your luggage is lost, you then get a third party vendor comes in and takes care of the delivery for you, and then you get a tracking number, and you're watching like their progress through the 5 boroughs delivering luggage. So I was like fascinated by that. It was like, again, here we go, like bringing in more vendors, independent contractors into the process. But essentially so to answer your question, what Ray is doing is they've got a hookup with the airline workers who are siphoning off bags in return for cash. And then the airlines have to pay to return this lost luggage. And so the vendors, the delivery service is just his aspect of that scam. Here we got
Noah?
James McDaniel. Yeah. You got Arliss? Yeah, we got a question in Arliss.
Oh, I was just wondering what time code you're on right now in the film.
Oh, that's a good question. We're at 10 minutes.
You have a time?
10:17. I'm at.
Okay.
This is the James McDaniel scene.
I
Okay.
love that he's wearing the Beats or the Apple
the little
Bluetooth thing. Yeah.
earpiece.
Yeah,
Question from the chat. What did he say his brother was sick with? Omnia. That's right, omnia.
Yeah, well,
Omnia.
that's a made up thing, right? I mean, it's a made up. You made that up, Noah.
Omnia is an invented disease. Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say something about James McDaniel.
No, it's not. I have it.
I think we all have omnia a little bit.
Yeah.
Sliding scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean, what were you going to say about James?
But James McDaniel, you know, I mean, he's a part of Broadway history. You know, I mean, he was in 6 Degrees of Separation as the original role that Will Smith played in the movie, which is a huge part of Broadway history. And also, he was in NYPD Blue and nominated for a bunch of Emmys. He's like a really terrific actor, and it was like I was intimidated, you know, in a good way, because he was wonderful to work with. But I mean, I just was just like, you know, wanting to take note of him because he was a terrific actor.
Absolutely, he was great. He really came in and brought it.
Oh yeah, he was wonderful.
Here we have another video that had its own shoot. So Jesse and Joe, you want to talk a little bit about the process of making this news program?
Yeah, I think it was one of the things that we really were mindful of was that because we were playing different video throughout the film, that the video like had a different quality than the actual movie that we were watching. So we actually shot these on a VHS camera and transferred it just so that it had that feel, that older feel. And then Jesse and I ran out because we just didn't have time to do this on that day. And it was the only time to do this.
And it was stressful because we had gotten that VHS camera on Etsy, I think, and it kept just shutting off in the middle of us trying to shoot on this very hectic, busy day.
I think I was booming.
You were
Was I
booming.
booming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the time we had to edit those videos because they played in the movie. So we shot them and then we have to edit them before they actually played, and that was sometimes day of or day before the actual video was supposed to play. So this is actually crazy. It was a crazy way to do it.
But those videos are really important because it's part of the world building. I mean, you know, the way that the film opened, and then, you know, all of these other videos, they really contribute to, you know, believing this world exists.
Uh-oh, drink time.
Drink.
Okay, is that drink time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Taylor, I feel like that look that you give is like so, it like, I get so much anxiety, like just from that look.
Great.
Yeah, so skeptical of him.
We had a whole backstory as to why you're in this scene, and you'll find out later. It's clearly you.
Right, yeah.
We just justified it on the day because we didn't have anybody else to do it.
I love this shot so much.
Shout out to Mike Gomes, our DP.
Oh yeah, amen.
The goat.
The goat. The goat.
Babe with not able to decide which light color of humidifier he likes in his room. So opting for all three.
I think when you have a disease like omnia that's so, you know, just absolutely destroys your energy, it's like you just have to go for full extravagance as far as lighting in your room, because that, you know, you're spending all your time there. It's like you got to represent the whole color wheel in there, I think.
Yeah.
Someone recently, I just did an interview where someone asked me what FFS stands for. You're about to see what I'm talking about. The answer is Federal Flight Safety. Anyway.
We couldn't. I don't think we could put FFA, FAA. I don't
FAA.
think
We couldn't. We couldn't. We couldn't do that. So.
We had to
But
make
also, yeah.
It's not set dressing. That's real.
My aunt Eileen says in the chat, "I love how careful Ray is with Jamie. The love is so real." Maybe the two of you could talk about that.
How real the love is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Can confirm.
Well, I would say, one, I'll say it's another testament to Noah's casting because, like, you know, I met Babe and I felt like, you know, just this instant connection to a person. You know, maybe it's because of the genetics of knowing Noah or whatever, but like I felt like I already felt related to him. You know, and I would say it's the same way I kind of felt like with Madeline, where I was like, there was this chemistry that I had with these people, that I felt with these people, that like it's all I don't know, you saw it, you conceived it, you know. But Babe, I felt very brotherly to him immediately. The second I met him.
Dean, I like that you
Certainly.
caught yourself and said that you felt that we had chemistry, not that we had chemistry. Just in
We
case,
did have chemistry.
just in case someone.
You have to understand, I'm half this through this process. I'm looking at myself the whole time, pretty much. I can't stop looking at myself. I'm like distracted. But like, no, I had chemistry with you immediately. I think I was a little intimidated because you were like such a. I didn't know what I was walking into. Like, I don't know. I was meeting you, and I hadn't seen the show you were in or anything. I knew about it, and I knew Noah was writing this for you, and so I met you, and like I was like, oh my God! I'm like, this person is so powerful. It was like you have a very powerful presence, and then so at first I'm like dealing with that, and then I felt complete chemistry with you. I mean, it was like, you know, but I attribute it to Noah. But anyway, but back to Abe, like, I mean, in the sense that like I felt immediately brotherly with him.
Shout out
Definitely.
to Hillary Greer, who's in the chat.
Yes.
She is.
She's terrific.
playing Nellie Kleider, the receptionist. Hillary was our local casting director, also wearing several hats. There she is.
And she's so good in those too.
And how many extras did we have? We had about 40 speaking roles, and how many extras?
It's like 150 or 170, I think, all told.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over the course of the whole thing.
Major shout out to Hillary.
Yes.
Question from Jeremy Hirsch. Looking at yourself in a monitor, Dean? If not, looking at yourself in what sense?
Looking at myself on the Zoom to make sure that like I look. I mean, that's what it is. Looking at myself in the film, I've already gotten over that trauma of watching yourself from every angle that you never thought you would ever have to see yourself. I've gotten over that. I'm comfortable with that now. But like, but the Zoom is another art of like, you know, watching yourself on the Zoom. That's what I'm talking about.
And someone in the chat is asking where this was primarily shot.
So all the upstate stuff, we're on our way now, upstate. We're about to actually go to Poughkeepsie for the Quantum Expo. So we're about to enter the convention center in Poughkeepsie, and then here we are. And then most of the wood stuff was shot over in Putnam County, also in upstate New York. Some private land, some state park land, and then the city stuff was in Queens. This was our first weekend of shooting, and I have to say, as a first-time director, this was a lot, and I think for our producers too, but everyone really rose to the challenge, and I get lost in the expo. I feel like this happened, but it didn't. It didn't happen. We staged it.
Director cameo on the back on the TV screen, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That's an easy mistake to make. I believe that's one of the UNESCO brothers, actually.
I think it's Marston. Yeah, I think it's Marston.
I think it's the father UNESCO.
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake. Yes. The family resemblance is so strong.
You can get a full rundown of the UNESCO family tree at the QEV website. In fact,
QuantumEntertainmentVentures.com.
That's right.
Anyone out there?
It's referred to as
backstory
Quev
now.
in some circles, but that's actually not the right pronunciation.
Yeah, the Kev, I suppose.
Yeah, Kev. That's right. It's a hard Q.
If you know, you know.
There's Kim Blacklock hitting the chat. One of the greatest crews I've worked
Yes.
with. Likewise, great
Yes.
crew.
Love her. Yeah.
Same.
I feel like this little avatar is also, in a way, a director cameo. No?
Definitely styled after Noah for sure.
Yeah, I was the reference.
It's more than a passing resemblance,
Mm-hmm.
especially that walking style.
A pre-COVID swab.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love the security guy looming in the background right here. It's so good.
Susanna Pittman's another amazing cameo in this movie.
She's so good. I think that's maybe one of my, if not the favorite line in the movie when she goes, "No, yeah, no, it's totally safe."
If you like Susanna, if you like what Susanna was wearing in that scene, let me take this opportunity to plug. We now offer Cabler merch on our website.
Oh.
I've gone with the red tank. You see, Jesse has the gold pullover jacket. We also like the trucker cap. Lapsisfilm.com/merch.
I'll plug the 5-panel cap as
I gotta
well. It's really
say,
strong.
yeah. That's my biggest applause of the whole production is the merch. I'm really impressed with that.
My mom is sporting, as she's watching this right now, a Cabler hoodie.
They're very good. The hoodies are
Wow.
very nice.
Someone's saying, I just love your expressions. Hillary says in the chat, it's true, Dean. You really, like, for anyone coming into this film wondering if they had to know about the quantum science involved, I think through these sections, Dean releases us of that tension.
Right, and that's I would say that's what was so smart about Noah's insight into putting me in this role, is that I'm a person who's like from another era in a way, and you know that about me from our collaborations, and so like, yes, I mean, it's very real, and that was very much the direction you gave me, which is just experience it, you know.
Right.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
And I think Dora Madison, who plays
Terrific.
Erica here, also really sells it with that kind of like it's no big deal attitude. Like, come on,
right?
Let's go.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Drew Johnston, also great. Never know if
Terrific.
he's angry or not.
Never know if he's angry or not or anything. And I was like, in terms of like creating a shadow for Ray, you know,
definitely.
guessing the perfect person. It's funny. He was the first person I met when I got on the van to go travel to set the first time. He was the first person I met. And it's kind of like a beautiful parallel to the film.
So again, Joe Varka is underneath this kiosk playing these videos practically at the exact moment the person scans in and arrives at the kiosk.
Just hitting a space bar, crouching as low as I can. with an HDMI cable attached to the screen with it open in the back. It's very stressful.
Ivory Aquino, fantastic, showing us
So
there's
good.
more.
So good.
All right, we
Okay,
can
here we
finally
go.
talk about the cube now.
Here we go, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah.
cube
So,
thing.
what went into the design of this cube?
This is something we were the most nervous about approaching the shoot. We didn't know if we could get this done, but we found Alex Lindy, our production designer, who came on and got it done. And more than that, I mean, I think he did a fantastic job with this cube under a very limited budget. So the strategy was build a frame out of wood. So it's basically an 8x8 wood frame. And then we only really had enough budget to cover two sides of it with steel paneling. And so there's just two sides of that cube covered in steel. And every time we would move the camera around it, we would have to twist the cube.
The other thing that I think really sells it is the sound design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
The sound design is outstanding.
Yeah.
This was the sun was setting. This was tough. I would say this was one of the stickiest moments of the whole shoot. This patch of time right through here.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were
what do you all
losing
remember?
light.
Dean, what do you remember about this?
I remember we were losing light, and it was complicated because we had these props that were but I mean, like, you know, these props that were like these original kind of creations, and so they were, you know, temperamental, and we were losing light. So I mean, but you handled it beautifully. I mean, we were able to get it all in the can and, you know, work it. But like I remember it being a stressful situation, but it was handled beautifully. I mean, nobody kind of cracked, you know. But it was stressful because like we had props that were like created specifically for this film, and that can cause problems, you know, because you're inventing essentially.
Kareem asks, what was the budget? But Noah, feel free to lie, please.
$80 million.
Don't answer at all. Don't answer.
The budget was 25 million Dogecoins.
So in a sense, the budget is constantly shifting. It's an ever shifting budget.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's right. Good answer.
Is that a quantum reference?
Yeah. Can anyone guess from the audience who's the voice of the app? It's a good question.
Oh. You mean the audience? You don't mean us? Because I have a guess, but
I don't know.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. We don't even have to throw it to the audience. Who do you guys think? Someone involved in the production.
Well, now I feel like it might have been Taylor.
That's who I would guess. That would be my first guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's me.
Pretty good.
It's me. I'm the uncredited voice.
That's so unfair. You should get a credit on IMDb.
I know.
For voice of app.
Jonathan Levy's asking about the drones.
Yeah.
How many different drones?
Just one drone.
Our first look at Joe's character
Yeah,
here.
there we go. There we go. We got a cameo right there.
How many times did it take you to get that shot of the cable spool dropping?
Not a lot.
I don't know. Do you guys
It was
remember?
like three or four takes.
Three or four, maybe. They were really good. They like just
Yeah.
nailed it.
No,
Yeah.
it was not many.
Yeah, they just had it. They were like, and that one was the one, and it was, you know, it didn't take them long to get that. They
Yeah.
were great.
Pretty impressive.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, Madeline.
Oh, here she is. It's actually amazing that I never inhaled a single bug
That you know of.
that I know of. That I felt. Yeah. I mean, it's really risky. Look, there was one in that shot.
That was close.
Taylor, do you remember your name, your trail name? Jesse, did you name it? I think.
Yeah,
you
I
named
remember it. Joe, do you remember it?
I'm gonna guess it's Priya Chard Swag.
That's correct.
What was it?
Priya Chart Swag. Yeah.
Wow.
If anybody wants to get their own trail name, you can do so right now by going to, what's the website?
Cabler Trail Name.
Trailname.com.
That's right.
CBLR, not ABLER.
Yeah.
All you do is just type in your name and you get a trail name. Spits right back out at you.
Oh no.
I need to check it out now. CBLR.com?
CBLR trail name.
CBLR, okay, CBLRtrailname.com.
Yeah, CBLRtrailname.com.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there it is.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I have to try this. Okay. My trail name is Truck Crab Hole. What?
That's good.
Crab Hole. Okay, I have to put that in the chat because I want people to. We lost Noah. He'll.
I know.
Maybe
You lost him at Crab Hole.
Yeah. And where is everybody at in the film? Mine crashed. So
what is this? This is at
like 38 minutes in. Where's everybody?
32 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
32 and a half, so I'm ahead.
That's where I am too.
Okay.
We just got our first shot of the kids, the ruffian kids, who were so fun to work with and so wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Kids. There's Violet,
who was in the chat earlier. I hope she's still here.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Oh, people are posting their
these are some good names.
Hollywood Block, Grub Wink Bread.
Grub Wink Bread is good.
Deanie's Snark London. What the heck?
Big shout out to Jake Rogers, our Cabler coder, for the trail names.
And to Kim Blacklock, who absolutely killed it in this role.
Yes,
So
I know Kim Blacklock
so
from
good.
years, from comedy. I know her from years.
That might be one of
It's
my other
funny.
favorite lines too. And she added in lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Her delivery on that.
I gotta say, Kim Blacklock and I, completely unrelated, know each other from a movie I tried to make years ago called The Ghosts of Times Square, and she was in it. And so we know each other actually very well, and it was just by coincidence that we were in this scene together.
Well, I hope Noah comes back. Here he comes.
Yeah.
Noah, we lost you for a second. You're back.
Yeah. Just need to say the new Quantic 7 is not.
Right.
Still can't get it.
People are posting their trail names. Slinker Flintbark.
That's pretty good.
Great. That's a good one. That's good.
This is the first time that we see the real deal. You want to talk about the robots?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people curious about the robots. We were able to find a lab at University of Pennsylvania called Cod Lab. And they've made this robot back in the late 90s. It's called a Rex, RHEX. And we just thought it was great. It was kind of like somewhere in that uncanny valley between being cute and creepy, I think was our take on it. And we asked them, if we could work together, and they were able to make it a summer program for their robotics students. And they sent 4 students up to our set who got academic credit for their work on Lapsis, which is it was a fantastic collaboration. And I think, and then our production design, our production designer, Alex Lindy, put some customized parts on top of the Rex to give it some more character. But I just love their whole vibe, the sound they make, the way they move. And that's the Rex.
And did it cause any problems on the set? I know that famously when George Lucas made Star Wars, they always had problems with the R2-D2, initially. So
we were worried because we didn't get much time to rehearse with them or test them or anything really. And they really couldn't have performed much better. Every time we were ready to roll, they were ready. There were a lot of contingency plans, ready to go, but we didn't have to really do anything. The only thing that we were worried about was rain, and we really avoided it for the 4 days that we were doing robotics work. And Dean, what about this scene?
Yeah. Well, I think I said to you, you should just let me try and put together a tent for real.
Yeah.
Because there's no possible way I could ever do it.
And I think it was that your call, Dean, to have Noah come in there and help you? Those are Noah's hands.
Yeah, I said, I know for me, I would pay somebody to do it, or I would ask somebody to do it because there's no way I could do it. And that's why I said to Noah, just let me try and put the tent together. And it was actually not fake because I don't have the patience or the time to put a tent together.
What are you eating here? Is it lasagna?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, man.
If you want to call it lasagna, that's fine. I'm okay with that, but oh my God.
Okay, so now what is the backstory for why Taylor's character was in Queens and is now cabling?
Well, that's why she gave them the look, because she's an experienced cabler.
Yeah, right. She's like, oh my God. Yeah, look at this rude.
But what was?
It wasn't going to go up and be like, let me get you pointers.
I never thought about that.
It's so funny to me. It's hysterical.
This was one of the many night scenes we filmed at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of the woods, so buggy.
Real buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this explanation from Jeremy that it's just twin sisters.
Doppelganger, because it's quantum.
Yeah.
There's an intense
quantum
world outside of the forest. And there's
we here at Cabler encourage fan fiction. So the twin sisters element, run with it.
For some reason, we're getting a lot of questions about the caterpillar. More questions about the caterpillar than Dean, oddly enough. But what about that caterpillar shot?
We found the caterpillar and we got it in the right place, and then we shot it.
It was not poisonous.
And we don't know. It was not poisonous.
It was not. We checked. Luckily, we had somebody on set who was really, really knowledgeable and told us we didn't have to worry, even though we were frantically Googling it on our phones to see if we would die.
Shouts out to Jerry, who kept that caterpillar safe and got it onto the cable.
Yes.
The kindest animal soul.
Kim Blacklock seems to have something pointed directly at Dean here.
Okay.
I wanna just to piggyback off the Jerry shout out. He was also so knowledgeable about poison ivy, and everywhere we went in the woods, he was always showing us where it was, and then what the leaves look like that can be the salve, the balm to the poison ivy, which for those of us who aren't used to the woods, was very important to learn.
Well, he wasn't. No, we're talking about the actor who I just passed, right? He was also a very. He had a lot of strong opinions about historical films. As I mentioned Barry Lyndon. Chris, I don't know if you're a Barry Lyndon guy.
Oh yeah,
he had a lot of issues with Barry Lyndon. I didn't think it was smart to get into it with him, so I just agreed and went on to the scene. But like, he had a lot of issues with Barry Lyndon.
It's all in the glare.
I backed off because I realized it could get physical.
I think you used that. That was the look you gave him. Really, I felt that in the look.
That was right. That's right. That's where that came from. That was where that came from. That was the motivation. Yeah.
Molly Wise in the chat says she loves this jazz riff, and I have to say this is just a quintessential Noah Hutton juxtaposition.
It's so good.
So classic.
You have like three separate clashing things going on. I have to say, just in spirit, it really is.
This is downtown New York avant-garde jazz legend Tim Byrne, who's about to make his big cameo here. But and going back a second, Barbara called out, I think correctly, that it was a millipede, not a caterpillar. Just want to correct the record there. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Barbara. There he is, Tim Byrne.
And now the chat is blowing up with Barry Lyndon talk. Dean, you started.
Jeremy, we can put you in touch with
Barry Lyndon fan. I'm a big Barry Lyndon fan because that's my favorite Kubrick film, and a lot of people don't like Barry Lyndon, but like I love Barry Lyndon. Is that what does it address anything? I don't want to get specific right now. Inappropriate.
Okay, I believe we're entering the territory of Dr. Mangold.
Yeah.
Arliss, maybe you can talk a little bit about the physicality involved in the performance.
Maybe.
Again, Arliss relies on physicality. Yeah, okay.
I don't know where that came from. I think I was driving back and forth to Pittsburgh quite a bit, and I think I was just beat, and I don't know where that came from. I think I came up to you on the day and said I think I'd like to just tap myself.
Yeah.
It's so good.
This is a first-time performance from Dave here, who's trying to escape the robot or avoid detection by the robot, trapping the robot, and gave such a visceral performance, I think.
Super committed.
Yeah.
David T runs a shop called Spruce in Callicoon, New York. For anyone
That's right.
Following along.
An amazing shop called Spruce.
An excellent selection of cheeses in that shop.
Mm-hmm.
As he described himself to me, a cheesemonger. That's what he said he was.
Mm-hmm.
He said to me, I'm a cheesemonger.
There he goes.
And who's the voice of the robot? If anybody can guess, I wonder.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good one.
It's Joe Barker.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Joe.
Is it?
It's me.
It's Joe.
It's me.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's good work.
It was absurd. It was an absurd recording session alone in a basement in Arkansas.
In Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arkansas. Yeah.
There's David Tew. He unfortunately lost his cheesemonger license because of that incident.
Very relatable.
Poor connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I believe, we filmed inside. This was one of our anyway. Not interesting.
No, don't censor yourself like that.
Sorry. Here we go. We got a nice cameo coming up from the great Sam Gilroy. Here he is as Nathaniel Cleo selling Cleo lenses. There's a backstory there.
I think Sam did this in one take.
Yeah.
It was just perfect, right?
And at the end of it, there was applause. I remember because he
Yeah.
nailed
So
it.
good, just so funny.
Good.
So Dean wrote and directed a project that Sam starred in that I served as the DP for. So we've all kind of worked together in different circumstances.
Yep, it's true. I love this piece of directing here, Noah. This was beautifully done. Because I know we had discussed it or whatever you had, and when I saw it executed, I was like, "That's a really bravura piece of directing."
That's Jesse throwing that spool over there off camera.
Yes.
Really good basketball player, and he just lobs that up in the air.
I want to say something. That was a moment that shot, the last shot, I got very anal on because you guys were fitting it into the schedule, and I hadn't memorized the lines, and I was always very anal about memorizing the lines because I didn't want to hold up the production. So I got very nervous about not knowing the lines for that scene yet. But like, it turned out beautifully. You know, I mean, you guys, it was great. But like, I remember that shot.
And you killed it. You did it in like 2 takes, I think.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, well, you knew better than me. I was being neurotic, but like it came out nicely.
I think watching Dean get in and out of tents in this movie is like it's such a source of joy for me.
I have to say that's Noah and I both understanding who I am and who I know he knows I am, and his insight into that because we both knew but it's his insight ultimately that knew that I've never been in and out of a tent ever.
Yeah, it's like violent. It's like it feels like watching a birth, like of a horse. You know how horses are born like they're fully able to walk immediately, and it's like that where you're just like,
yes.
I love this runoff into the woods. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Oh,
Here we
drink.
go.
Oh.
You might ask yourself what I'm doing with my hands there, and the answer is I have no idea.
So sweet. I think it's so sweet.
These are all members of our crew.
Again,
It's
can
so
be
good.
My answer to that, I just want to say, somebody asked about the weight that I lost. I want to say something. My line to all of the people I know is that I gained weight for the role. But my actual line is, but the truth is that like I actually worked out for 3 weeks before to try and lose weight for the role. That's the reality.
It seems like you're putting it on and taking it off in scenes.
I know.
Like you'll start a scene at a certain weight and you'll actually lose weight.
That's actually true. You know why?
And then you'll gain weight in another scene.
You know what? I hate to say that. I noticed that too. And you know, the truth is, it had to do with the correlation of me discovering the 24-hour Walmart next to the hotel we were staying in. because I'd never been in an upstate Walmart where
You were
cheese
obsessed
was
with that.
like $2 a pound. That's so funny that you say that because like I didn't want to say that, but like I just because in one shot I'll be 20.
There's not any second. There should be some second unit footage
so
of you getting
true.
in and out of those Walmarts.
It's so true. That is so
You
true.
would like we would be like driven back to the hotel at the end of the night, and
Right.
you would ask to be dropped off at the Walmart. He was like, no,
I built in a fetish for the Walmart that it was 24 hours and it was like a wonderland in there. That was like my escape. And the fact that it was so cheap in upstate New York, I was like, donuts? You can get 12 donuts for like $1.99. I was like, when am I going to have that again? I live in Manhattan.
Dean, do you remember going to Walmart to get eye makeup with me?
I remember. Yes, I do. I remember that. I remember I had so many experiences in Walmart. It's its own movie. I remember getting the eye makeup with you. Tessa, my girlfriend, came with me. I almost got into a fist fight with somebody in the Walmart. This close. I almost got into a literal fist fight with somebody who moved my cart. I had there's an entire novel or film in the Walmart. But Arliss is right on the money. I gained 15 pounds and 20 pounds in between takes because of the Walmart. Cheese, donuts. That's so on the money.
That was just deep method. You just couldn't give up your cart.
I know. I could not give up. That's right. I couldn't give up the cart. Somebody moved my cart. I'm very conscientious about other people because I'm in New York. So I left the cart for like 30 seconds, and this big man taller than me was like, and I was like ready to get into a fight with him, and poor Tessa was like, stop it. And I was like it was ugly. It was ugly, but I'm like, I don't want to ruin the film. I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get beat up, whatever.
And here we get another.
There we go.
There we go.
All yes.
So good.
Yeah. Wow.
Lapsis cheesecake. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's Noah and Jesse, correct?
That's right. We got a drink there.
It's us.
Noah, I love that the world is so, it's meant to be like a heartbeat into the future or something with this quantum whatever, and it's so broke ass. The cables, they climb up over like metal things to get over water. You see them like sort of on the ground where they're totally unprotected. People are crisscrossing. It's just so. It's insane is what it is. It's one of my favorite things in the film is every time I see the cables. I just think it's just insane.
Yeah,
the technology is so broken, just fantastic.
It reminds me of when you look at the back of your television set and you see all the wires going all the place. It's like that's that kind of chaos.
Exactly.
This scene, I love to think about the fact that for this scene, Mike Gomes had to run backwards in the forest.
Yes, this was amazing what they did.
The cutting here is excellent.
Yeah.
Here, shout out to Violet Adams. Might be watching. There she is.
Who ultimately did my whistle?
I believe it was Gomes.
Was it
Mike
Gomes?
Gomes or DP? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good whistle. I kept accidentally going like wee wee.
In a bind, we would have used it. You know, if we couldn't get Gomes to do it, it would have been great.
I love this scene between the two of you.
It's a great entrance for Maddie too, Noah. She looks like a Valkyrie. The way you shot her when she walks up, when you
I
see
know
her
there
at
was
the
like
top of the
fog.
head.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so well said. That's
It's
exactly
so good.
right.
It was pretty fun. I remember watching the crew watch Maddie. It was kind of like the crew's introduction to her too. It's not just the characters, and it was kind of fun.
Yes,
watching everybody watch her come into the scene.
Yeah, this was the first thing that I filmed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love what Dean does when I walk away. He does look at this little like suave hair slick, and he pulls his pants up.
Fantastic.
That's what you do when
Maybe
you
I'll
have,
skip the
when
ballpark
instead of
side.
hair.
Yeah, maybe I won't go.
When you instead of hair, you have cobwebs on your head. Try and manage the cobwebs.
Oh my god. There's also, this is an incredible lucky thing that happens in this shot where the sun comes out.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie, what
Those are
outlet
like-
do you think that Anna writes for? If you had to pick one outlet that this article is published in.
Oh, I think it was probably either like, I mean, if we're lucky, it's like Jacobin. More likely, it's like Medium. You know, like
a Substack newsletter, perhaps.
maybe a Substack. Yeah, maybe she would have a Substack.
What was it like? What was it like for the two of you to figure out the mechanics of cabling? Like Arliss was talking about the broke ass mechanics of it all, because we were all kind of figuring this out as we went. But what was it like cabling?
It was hard. It was like actually legitimately, well, because also like I remember both Dean and I asked to actually have spools of cable on our carts, because originally we were just given, you know, like empty parts, and then it looked bogus because we were like not actually doing any work. And then once they actually gave us weight, it was like, oh, this is less than ideal, because it was hard work, especially going uphill. And those carts, you know, it's like the forest floor. There's lots of rocks and tree stumps and stuff. It was not easy.
Oh, the physical challenges were legitimate. I mean, we had carts attached to our back, and we were climbing up hills that were real.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I thought that was great, but like we both did ask for like legitimate. There were occasionally shots where it's like we could do without it, but we both asked to have that kind of, resistance, because you can't fake. It's hard to fake that. You can fake that, but I think everybody wins if you don't have to fake that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved doing this scene. This was so fun.
Me too. Like
the writing is so good. The writing was so. It's so.
Yeah.
Did you say you love naturalism, Dean? Is that what you just said?
No, I didn't say that. No, I don't know where you got that. I have no idea where you got that. But I will say, Noah. I know. It was one of those moments where you read it, and as a writer, you go, "Well, that's a lot of lines for a scene, but you realize he earns it because the script is all visual. And then all of a sudden we have this terrific debate, and my character has this vulnerability, and you are able to kind of cleave right into it. It's a beautifully written scene, and I love doing it. I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys dropped it down in this one. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, Noah, I mean, like, you know, the casting and the chemistry is like when Madeline kind of like lowers it down on me. I actually felt it. I mean, I really felt it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Roasted and
Heard
toasted.
enough. Heard enough.
I love also the way when you finish the roast, you know, the way you eat your granola right after. You're like, and scene.
It's a mic drop. It's a granola mic drop.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
it's a nut drop.
yo, it's really nice. It's a little aggressive. I'm not going to say it's not aggressive. But it's
This
nice.
hill was
Oh my god.
another sucker.
Yeah, this
So
was
hard. And I had to like go faster than Dean, and I remember being like, that's simply not possible.
The classic pass and then nap.
Yeah, so mean.
Yeah.
You're getting better at the tent here, Dean, as time moves.
Yeah.
It's true.
I feel like-
yeah.
Noah, this could maybe be a good moment for you to tell us why Maddie's character Anna is napping all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it was that she's experimenting with a way to keep up with the robots, where she's sleeping in phases. So she's experimenting with like, and this is a real thing that people do, like phase sleep cycles where they sleep like 3 or 4 hours, quick cat nap, keep going, and you never have to sleep through the night. So, you know, but as she says to Ray, it seems like they end up at the same campsite at the end of the day anyway. So his huffing and puffing isn't winning him much. As Molly Wise says, put your head down and it'll all balance out. Yeah. Yep. I think that's Socrates, right?
I think this might be also another great moment to shout out Sandy Sue, who was our costumer. I don't know if you guys just noticed those beautiful yellow boots that Ray was wearing, but she and her amazing team was constantly trying to perfect the level of sweat and dirt of everybody's clothes. Which, sorry, this got really loud.
I know, it's true.
There's really good sweat. The presence of sweat in this movie, I think, is so excellent.
Yeah.
You guys really this was a tough one. This could have taken us a lot longer to do, but you
did this in one take. We did it once, and you said, that's it. That's it.
Is that it? I was trying to remember that recently.
We didn't do it twice.
I don't think we ever got to the end of it the first couple times, and then the first time we got all the way through, I think it was it.
I feel like Noah. I mean, I feel like there was at least one shot with the two of us where you were like, at the end of it, you were like, "That's it. That was perfect." Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's, you know, my memory, but like I know that there was one thing we did at some point that you were like, "That was perfect. That's it. Let's go."
This was a fun afternoon. Noah building this rock henge, lugging rocks from the property.
Yeah, that was one of our fun projects.
Yeah, we put them in the back of a gator, and we took them from an old wall, literally like a wall that was a rock wall, and just drove them over there into the woods.
we recently asked the roboticist who lent us this robot at UPenn if realistically would the robot be captured by this rock formation, and they said that it would probably try to jump on top of the rocks, which I think would have been fun if we had perched up.
A request for a Cabler polo in Best Buy Boomer Blue.
Wow.
I am going to personally add that to the merch store tonight. Paradox Vested Relics. Just going to make a note to myself on that.
Yeah, don't forget. I love how like shifty-eyed Dean is in this scene. He's like so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it was like getting repetitive, but like Madeline was so real that it was like you didn't have to do anything.
I feel the same way about you, Dina.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was not a false note in anything you did.
Well,
Tiki Barber reference here.
This is my favorite. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, no, it's not yet.
Oh, it's funny because
it's coming.
Yeah.
That was a genius piece of costuming by Sandy to put a 21 blue jersey in the background there to motivate the Tiki Barber reference.
Yeah.
Without having to clear it with the NFL. It's an unbranded jersey.
I had to ask Noah, though, what Tiki Barber was because I didn't get the reference because I don't follow sports. So Noah had to explain it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here.
Kim is just spitting truth in the comments.
I know. I love this.
Big facts.
It's so true. It's so real.
It's true.
It's true.
This was really funny to watch.
The burning.
On set. Yeah.
Dean doing his burning.
Dean, yeah, the burning.
And then the end of this scene also got changed because of weather for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right?
Remember?
Yeah.
We weren't originally supposed to go inside the tent.
Do you remember there was thunder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kismet, because I love what happened here. It's so nice in this tent.
Yeah. And this tent was also indoors. I remember the like noodles or whatever I was supposed to be eating where it was actually like sweet. There was like cloves and cinnamon in it. It was supposed to, it was not a savory experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. I feel a little bad about the food we gave both of you to eat during these scenes. It was less than desirable.
Yeah. Well, I don't talk about that right now, but I remember this scene being like extremely painful because
why was it extremely painful?
Ray's getting rejected. See, you have to say. I'm thinking about Ray as a Queens guy. He's working for a guy. He meets a girl. He really likes her, and he gets like so rejected. I mean, he wants to hang out more. But like, I just think about the fact that he's got to go to bed. He's got to get back in the tent. He's got a brother who's sick. It's depressing, which is part of the whole spirit of the movie. But like, that's what I remember from that moment when we were filming. Like thinking, like I'm like, oh yeah, she wants to go to bed. Shit, you know. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
That's what my character was thinking at the
The
time.
event of the scene is that you get shut down.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. That's real. That's real.
I thought that the event of the scene was that Anna was from Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Queens guy is not thinking that. The Queens guy is like, oh, she's leaving the tent. Great.
Some family
I gotta go to
members like-
sleep now. I'm in the tent alone. My act
Acting
didn't
classes
work.
are going to be debating this scene for years to come.
Right, yeah, right.
When they get the sides.
Oh, this
That
was
feeling when
so
your
well
paths
done, Noah.
diverge.
Noah,
Oh,
this was
God,
so
yeah.
well done because I remember talking to you about this scene and asking you about it, and this was so beautifully staged. You did such a good job with this. So
This
well
was
done.
tricky. This was tricky.
You
we
nailed
were moving
it.
fast. Yeah. Yeah,
So well-
this is all Mike Gomes and the way that he could move around with that. He was shooting on this like Ronin
Yeah, but
rig,
but
very
this was
nimble.
yes, but this was your plan because I asked you about this and you executed exactly what you explained.
I love when Anna starts to disappear here.
This took all of my theater vocal training to actually be
Oh, yeah.
audible.
You were like really shouting. Like you
Yeah. People from miles around were like, what's Half Moon Naturals? Yeah, Mike Gomes really major shout out to Mike Gomes forever.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful work.
Yeah. I also love that account on Instagram that's like film barcodes posted our barcode today. And I love how green it is. I love how green the whole movie is. I love that it's a sci-fi movie that is like, it just, the aesthetic of it is so different from what you expect.
Here's the smart fridge. Just had to call it out. It's my favorite part of the movie.
and who's the voice of the smart fridge?
I don't know.
That's another UNESCO
That's Noah.
member across the way.
Yeah.
The UNESCO's have a monopoly on smart fridges.
That's
Joe,
my
is this
dad.
you?
That's my dad.
I thought I was like, Joe, are you?
No, it sucked. It was really boring and no one had any fun.
An elaborate ruse.
It was such a
Coming up-
blast and it felt like summer camp too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this.
Pat Walsh here, ladies and gentlemen.
Also the stunt coordinator on the movie.
Yes.
I also love that Pat spent most of the time in the forest, like in flip-flops, despite the fact that everyone else was like totally socks up to their waists
Yo.
to prevent ticks.
Flip flops completely. Every time I saw him, he was around the cube.
Okay,
He never left
this
the
sequence-
cube. Am I crazy, or was he? Was he like attached to the cube? I didn't know anything. Am I crazy or what? Every time I saw him, he was like in the realm of the cube.
This scene stresses me out so much, and I just want
This was the hard. This was really it caused us a lot of problems shooting this scene because of light again.
We were literally chasing light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked in the end, I think. We ended up having to just lean into the fact that the sun had set. But it's when you're dancing around that.
It's a testament
is the
to
sun out or
cameras
not?
because it was literally, from my point of view, pitch black, and we were still shooting. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
You were just saying action, cut, and I'm like, I was like, I don't even know what I did.
Which again you used because there you are getting 6 figures and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dean, I feel like you sell the labor of cabling so well.
Yeah, but that's like Noah's insight into me, knowing how urban a person I am. If you stick like a cabling cart on my back, he knows. Like it was like great insight.
That's also Noah's voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I spliced 2 different versions of it together to make it sound more robotic.
Wow.
Is it?
It's so great. All the other shit we offer, but not that.
Yeah. And that was such good casting, Noah. That guy, I love that guy. He was so classically trained. He was terrific. He was so I don't know where he went. Juilliard, he cleaved right into me with his training. I felt such a piece of. I felt like such a schlub with his training. He cut right into me with his look.
Yeah, he was. Hillary Greer with the ultimate diss as you
So
approach the
good.
counter here.
So
are you
good.
checking in?
Yo, she was giving me that look in between scenes when I was just talking to her like a person. And she told me she lived like a block away from me, which was even weirder.
Yeah, she's licking her fingernail. She's revealing her secrets.
Yeah.
Well, it is true that he looks like he just came from another world out of the forest, like a creature from the forest walking into this slick, clean hospital.
What was the location for Bar Kleider?
Jesse, Joe.
It was,
I don't remember
I'm
the name.
trying to remember what it was called. It was like 10 minutes from. It was in Putnam County, and it was I think it was like a nursing home, and we had to scramble because our initial location canceled on us like a week or 2 before. So we scrambled to find this one.
Oh my god, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, heroic work from EJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Big artistry from the costume department here, wardrobe department here on the Pillow Man.
Massively.
Oh my god.
They handmade
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, amazing.
It's so good.
This was the fantasy of doing a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
There's
Look
definitely
at that poster in the background that Alex Lindy made. I mean, Alex Lindy peppered this world with detail. Look at that. It's a bar clatter poster that he designed in the background.
About cleaning your hand, about washing your hands.
I think it was there, and he put a sticker on it.
Joe, I don't give away.
That's great.
This is
Babe was amazing in this scene. I
Yes.
think this was another one-hit wonder.
Babe
He's
Babe
just
was so
perfect
good.
right away.
So good.
Yeah.
This was so much fun to do.
It's so good when the two of you look back at exactly the same moment. It's just so
good.
perfect.
Yes. Classic Tincelli stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tincelli boys, yeah.
This is all I love. The fucking ticket.
Our sound mixer, Bill Polakowski, told me personally, came up to me and told me that when we were shooting this, that there was his favorite part of the movie, the ticket. That was a huge compliment.
That's such a Bill compliment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have that be the part that he likes.
Bill's another master of sound who deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
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 This is some of the last stuff that we shot.
That's right. Last day. Oh, this was quite a this is I don't know what to say about this. Why don't you guys? What was it like for you guys to do this scene? This was improv, I believe.
Yeah.
You
Well,
guys did great with this.
I was glad I wasn't driving.
Well, Dean and I had these drives. I would drive Dean from the city to set a couple of times.
That's right.
And we'd have these drives where we sort of plot out. We had one drive in particular where we sort of plotted out a few of the things that we could talk about
right
in this scene.
Now that's Frank Wood. Well, that's not Frank Wood, the cat, but Frank Wood. When I was in college, Frank Wood was on Broadway in Sideman by Warren Light. And I had a friend, she was an intern for the producer. So I saw Frank Wood about 3 times on Broadway, and he won the Tony Award for Sideman. So for me, going back to college, working in the scene with Frank Wood was a big deal. I told him that, but that's like from my own personal experience. Frank Wood was like a major person in my New York experience that, he's a Tony winning actor.
And I had just seen him in Network right before we started filming this, which I was like so excited to work with him. I think he's so great. Although I guess technically I never actually worked with him.
No, but you work with me. You work with him.
Yeah. We were all together. Guys, I do just want to point out that if we want to become famous and buy followers, there's a link that we can.
Wow. There's a lot going on in
Big
that.
follows. Yeah.
I had such a hard time memorizing the lines.
Dean, it's crazy to me. I remember you being so anxious about learning the lines. And then when I watch this, it's like, it just feels like watching a documentary.
Well,
like there's nothing about it that feels
I guess thank you. I mean, I know that an actor can hold up a whole production by not knowing the lines. And I was like having a heart attack every day, making sure I knew the lines.
The Walmart cheese might have been the heart attack, actually.
Well, that was soothing my soul as I was learning the lines. And like when I didn't have thank God my girlfriend Tessa was there on the weekends and would record the lines with me for our scenes, and I would learn them that way. I would just play them over and over again. But when she wasn't there, I would still record both of our voices doing the lines and listen to them over and over again while eating Walmart cheese and cookies and donuts and but I knew that if an actor who doesn't know the lines can hold up the whole production.
Dean, you came in prepared every single scene. You never once held it up. So I mean, whatever you were doing, you had it dialed every single scene. It was unbelievable.
Well, because I knew I would be screwing with your budget, and I wouldn't do that. I mean, I just couldn't do that. And I have to say, I have to say this to Arliss, who as a film, I am a film cineast. Arliss was in Full Metal Jacket. I mean, that is film history. Not to mention all of his other films like Moneyball, which I saw him in, and I was like, that's not an actor. He was so good. But Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick is one of my influences, and he said, I read a quote of his, and this is part of what inspired me making sure I knew my lines. He said, a lot of times actors who are neurotic and who hold up the set don't know their lines, and they create problems because they don't know their lines. And I said to myself, I'm going to make sure I know my lines because I will not do that to Noah in any capacity. But it's just, to create a bridge to, the privilege of working with Arliss,
I think most good things in life are motivated by fear.
Absolutely.
I think fear is a great motivator.
Yes, I agree.
Make fear your friend.
Yes.
That's Jedediah Mangold coming at you live. Fear your friend.
Well said. Make fear your friend. That's the name of that's the title of his book, actually. Make fear your friend by Jedediah Mangold.
Yeah. Arliss, how does it feel to know that Dean prefers Barry Lyndon as his favorite Kubrick film and not Full Metal Jacket? Gotta be a little tough to hear.
No, I think I actually agree. I would agree with Dean if you accept the premise that Kubrick's films are not genre specific. They're really about the systems that men make to kill themselves.
Thank you. Yes.
And that is a movie about how the class system will kill you.
That's right.
I think it's he's almost perfect. Barry Lyndon. It's got everything.
Yes. Beautifully said.
Also, that movie was one of the first movies that he used the NASA lenses on, that he developed with Zeiss for NASA for space photography, so that they could shoot in low light, and they double wicked those candles that the candles were actually double candle, but they were stopped down incredibly. That movie has no rigged lighting.
None
in it.
None.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful.
Babe, this was the first thing you shot, I believe.
I would just like to apologize to everyone for my very first couple takes here, not being able to handle myself. I burst into laughter at least 2 times. It's my very
There's
first time
also
on camera.
there's a brotherly resemblance in how you exit the tent, I think.
Definitely.
Well, I had 2 weeks of studying Dean on set. 2 weeks of studying Dean on set before we.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we were all losing it because of the Baconian ciphers.
Oh my God! Right. Oh my God! I remember that.
That's why that he's like obsessed with dumb concepts.
That was hard.
Yes, exactly. Those are the vibes.
Yeah.
I also love that we don't ever see Jamie discover that video file, right? Like,
No. Right.
just something that like he found fairly easily. It didn't feel momentous to him. I don't know. There's something I really like that detail that Ray is off on this thing about ciphers, and Jamie like instantly finds it and is like, "Oh no, this is the answer."
6%.
A lot of cameos here. Oh my God.
Yeah. Cameos.
This is to.
A better way to talk about the scene would be to point out who isn't a cameo.
Right.
Yeah, but I want to say something about Noah and Mike Gomes' rig here. You have to realize the camera is on a 360-degree circular, I don't know what you'd call it, carousel, and it's a beautifully shot scene. I mean, conceived, shot. You have to realize we're in this tight tent, and he's taken the camera and he's put it on a fulcrum that's in the middle of the room, and he's shooting everything at a 360-degree angle. I mean, that's beautifully conceived. I mean, if you see it, I remember being like completely awed by how he executed this.
Yeah, well, I think part of it was too is we didn't have enough time to move a rig around in this space.
Yeah.
But it was also like, could we do it? It was also, we got excited by the idea too.
Yeah, it was a sexy idea. And I was like, I remember when we went to shoot it, I was like, that's a really great, it's going to have a great effect, and it serves the scene.
Right.
It's really well done.
Cameo.
She's back.
Excellent return.
These were fun because everyone who came in to do a day of various things, we just got them saying card offline for this sequence. It was a fun
thing we'd throw at the end of everyone's day. Could you just kneel in this brush and say "cart offline" into a walkie-talkie? We were pushing the value we had on our drone day.
Noah, I would also love to hear about, because you also scored this movie, and I would love to know how you did that. I don't understand. Like, do you play instruments?
Just right over here, right over there.
Oh, hell yeah! Wow.
I play music through, software instruments, and I did it all in a program called Logic. And I do record real piano.
It's so good. The score is it just really makes it sing.
Soundtrack is available on Bandcamp, Kim. It's also on Spotify.
But it doesn't include this song.
No. This song in the background is by a band called Meg. Babe, anything else to say about that?
I don't know if Meg is still playing music together, but they had a great run from about 2015 to 2019. This is from their earlier period, like late 2015, early 2016, one of their first songs together. It's called Whatever Ever. It's also on Bandcamp.
Nice.
This was a scene that you guys just nailed so quickly.
Well,
you remember this? Because we didn't even do.
My theory is it's Madeline and I in a heist movie, which I think is like our ultimate calling.
Yeah,
to do a heist movie.
That's our next project.
Yes,
that would be great.
I'm ready. Noah, just write it. I'm in sight unseen.
I'm in. The cat.
But that's a different cat. That's not a hairless cat, right?
What?
Taylor spotted that cat.
No, I just saw that cat. That was just a wild cat.
That's great.
But
Yeah,
at
and it
another
just looked
location.
perfect.
Good eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the motel.
Yeah.
Vishnu buying the soundtrack before the movie, a rare move, but recommended.
A real fan. Thank you, Vishnu.
I like that. That's a good move.
Yeah.
This scene we originally was supposed to take place at Cabler headquarters, but we could never find the location. We spent really the entire movie trying to find the space that would work for this, and it just never did. So at the end, we were just like, I guess, parking lot.
Power vehicles.
I guess we'll have 2 Suburbans and call it a day.
Yeah.
Well, the big reveal is that Nori runs Cabler out of her car.
Never stopped moving.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Puyo was great in this scene.
So great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny, Molly. Cabler Corporate has no corporation.
It's everywhere and nowhere all at once. I love both of their performances in this scene.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Good time to mention there are GIFs available on Giphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's amazing gifts.
This was a fun one to shoot. I think you guys had fun with this one too.
This was a treat.
Yeah.
I also think Watch My Glasses was absolutely not scripted.
No way.
I remember.
Well, because it was real.
Yeah.
I remember reading the pillow fight in the script and feeling uncertain about how a pillow fight, and it's like the second I saw you guys do it, it was so obvious that
Well,
it's
that's how I felt about it too, Taylor, because I read it and I went, I trusted Noah's vision. I was like, but I personally was like, I don't see how this, I don't get it. But that was part of me not knowing, like, he was casting Madeline and Babe. Like, when you see that, then you go, oh, okay. But I'm with you.
It's been a decent movie, but I just feel like something's been left unfinished about the robot. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, yeah.
what happened to this robot? Why do you think it escaped?
Yeah.
It avoided the shutdown, and now we have the same gentleman who denied Ray a charge earlier, profiting off of it.
Is it sentient though?
It's not. It's a non-sentient. I got that question on Reddit this week. It's a non-sentient robot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the finger here is pointed a little bit more at the upper middle class gentleman than it is at the robot.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of traitor to the working class.
Mm-hmm.
It's a velvet sheathed finger.
I've been reading the reviews.
Good call.
Oh, that's a good idea. Add Cabler to LinkedIn.
Oh.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh. Wow.
Oh.
I just want to say that once you accept that there could still be news on television in the hotel, a pillow fight is completely believable.
Amen to that.
In that world, anything could happen. Pillow fights, Uber Eats. Well done, my boy. Well done.
Thank you all.
Beautifully
Thank
done.
you all for thank everyone for joining us for this. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you to the group here.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
What a treat to be here. Thank you.
And all the people in the chat, I want to thank them. Great comments, people watching all the way through.
Yes. Thank you, chat.
Yeah. Hope the commentary from everyone added to the experience. What's next, Noah? You have something else in the works, and I wanted to mention the soundtrack. I mean, it came up, which was great, but like it's directors, filmmakers that are also composers. You're in a rare group, you and John Carpenter, I think. So,
And editor.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I would love to work with a composer maybe someday, but I really enjoyed making this score. But the question of what's next, we'll see. I'm writing a new script, and there's also some whispers about adapting Lapsis into episodic. We'll see.
Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds good to me.
Well,
We'll leave it at that for now.
So many of the ideas in it are just resonate now, right? Like it's so relevant. I mean, I don't know what your timing was from writing it to, putting it out into the world, but it definitely seemed very forward thinking. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of that it becomes lucky. Things kind of start to happen synergistically, not in a good way necessarily. I don't like that has happened for certain elements of this story, but it was written 3 years or so ago now, and there are certainly one of the most interesting thing and work the producers and I are constantly sending around things we're seeing in the real world that are reminding us of this movie more and more. And the quantum computing stuff is happening now. They're testing out the first quantum internet system right now outside of Chicago, like a 26-mile loop of fiber optic cable they just put down. So that just blew my mind when I read that. I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't know about that. I didn't know that was happening when I wrote it. But there's some synergy. But again, as I said, I don't love that. Like the Prop 22 stuff that happened this fall, made this film, I think, feel timely, not in a good way. And so it's been interesting to talk about with people. And I went on like a gig economy podcast where they were pro Prop 22. We had a really interesting conversation. People can check that out. It's been very lucky we've been able to get the film out in the midst of all of this virtually and have conversations about it like this. So thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time just to everybody. An amazing cast, an incredible film that I hope more people discover. I'm curious how audiences have responded to the film. I mean, obviously we saw the comments in the chat. It's just how are people perceiving all the ideas that were I mean, there's also looking at the healthcare system. There's commentary that's weaved into about the healthcare system as well. So there's so much world building that's been done, and I love the idea of putting LinkedIn, having Cabler on LinkedIn. You have to please make that happen. But I'm curious about audiences. You said you did a Reddit. I assume you did a Reddit AMA earlier. What were some of the comments and reaction?
Babe just helped me figure out how to post on Reddit, and we didn't do a proper AMA. I just made myself avail for questions, and a couple questions about the robotics, a couple questions about the ending. I mean, I think something a question I do get a lot of is, what does the ending mean? And I'm very glad to talk about that. We just kind of did a bit, but I think people are curious about that, and it is a little open-ended. It does point to maybe where the next frontier of the struggle would go after this temporary victory in the woods. I never thought we would necessarily do a sequel or anything, but if there's more in this world to be explored, I would certainly love to do it.
Well, someone's suggesting a title. Relapses. There you go.
That's my brother.
I also feel that this is a weird thing to throw out there, but who should really see this movie is Andrew Yang, because he's so forward thinking he's been talking about automation and how that's going to affect the workforce for years. No one's really discussed that issue. You've got to get Andrew Yang to watch this film. I think he'd have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, you're right. He should. I mean, I think one of the things and we had a really wonderful conversation with the people who built the robots for the film, who I think came in a little concerned about, are we portraying automation and the robots as the evil force of the world? And my argument to them, which I stand behind, is no, it's not the robots themselves. It's not the technology itself that's evil. It's sort of like they are the apparatus of the corporation. And it's really, it comes down to, for these workers, for these cablers in the woods, how are the profits from automation being distributed? If they're aligning perfectly with income inequality and sort of funneling right to the top of a company like Cabler, that would be the problem in this case. So it wouldn't be automation writ large. It would be how it sort of fits on the matrix of income inequality.
Well,
I would love for Andrew Yang to see it, of course. I would like to talk to him about some of his comments in the mayor race he's been making, but we can get into that another time.
Well, we follow Andrew Yang and I follow each other on Twitter, so I will direct message him
really?
about your movie.
Right.
So, I became a big fan of him when I saw him on Rogan, just talking about how the world is going to change and automation is going to change everything. And I've been keeping up with the mayor race. So I'm curious. He just launched a YouTube channel.
That's important. You should make him see the film.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I will message him about it. So
yeah, help us out.
You two. That's it. So you take it from there. But what are final
photobomb for film threat? I'm just asking.
Oh,
photobomb.
Here's my mother.
I have this amazing crew of people and cast of actors. I've been just like behind
Wait, I missed it. Okay, well, all right. Okay, so what final words does everyone want to say? Final thoughts about the film and the project? And obviously, I mean, look, we've had a lot of groups on here do these watch parties. Never had so much fun. Like, obviously, this was a fun shoot. So, and everyone seemed to really get along and have a blast. So, I just love to hear people's final thoughts as we sign off. Get ready to sign off.
Let's go round robin here, and we'll go Jesse and then Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blast, and it's so nice to see everyone again. Thanks, Chris, and everyone at Film Threat for this. I mean, final thoughts on the film, I don't know. It's weird to make something all together and then have it sort of be in the world and out of our control now. So interested to see how that plays out, hopefully in an impactful way.
Joe?
All right.
I thanks to everybody for watching, and it's so good to see all of your faces, and I wish we could all see each other in person. This has been an amazing ride and a very surreal ride this whole time. But to see that people get the opportunity to see the movie and all the responses that we've gotten have been really exciting and amazing. So just super grateful to everybody here and to everybody watching.
Babe and then Taylor.
Sick. Yeah, it's so lovely to see everyone, and even if it's in their little box. The one thing I will say after reiterating what Joe and Jesse have said is, if you liked the movie, or even if you didn't like the movie, I hope you go read Noah's essay at Talk House about the way the movie was made, and the handbook that was used. And Noah can possibly talk a little more about that for the production team, and it's available for anyone who has equity on their mind in any workplace, but particularly when making a movie. So if you're looking for any supplementary reading, you should direct your attention there.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, it was so fun, and I think it's also hard. It's like it's tough to make a movie, and I think that we're able to all be together now and laugh and celebrate each other because everybody was just so kind. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but that was something that everybody on the entire crew, I think, really embodied. So I'm so grateful for everybody, and thank you so much for watching.
Great. Arliss and then Dean.
I got to unmute.
Oh, wait.
I would say that the technology has allowed everybody in the world to make movies, and they make them all the time. And there's some idea that it's, I guess, because of that, that anybody can just go out and make a movie, and they're welcome to do it. The question then becomes, are they worth looking at? And I think that what I saw tonight again was an example of how important, how absolutely important it is to have a script. And I was thinking about the scenes that come set where they're actually stopping to talk to each other are so on the edge of being an impediment to the thrust of the film, and yet they're not. They're the exact opposite. The movie kind of reignites in those two long set pieces. One is at night, in fact, and I think that sometimes, because the movie is so beautiful to look at and so well acted, that the actual text of the movie might go missing. And I think it's so well put together rhythmically that I just get tickled every time I watch it. So that's what I have to say about that.
All right, Dean.
Well, I want to thank first Babe for being, like, a partner in this, because he was like my brother and an instant, like, close friend. I mean, that's kind of like not even doing it justice. Feeling like a brother. And also Madeline, who, like, I have to say to Noah, I mean, casting Madeline, writing this role for her, I mean the chemistry and the foresight and the relationship between Ray and her, I mean to me it was like effortless, and I just have to say, for Noah, who I've known for years and have been, I consider him one of my closest friends, whether he knows that or not. I admire his integrity as an artist above almost anybody. And to me, it was just like a pleasure and an honor to work towards his vision. And I'm grateful and kind of in awe of his ability as a director to, number one, have the allegiance of a crew that, I know everybody respected him so much, and also just had the faith to show up every day and have, like, give of themselves and have a good time, doing their work. That was the thing. It's difficult to do a film. It's very difficult. And I felt like I was in good hands the entire time. So I have to thank him above anybody, Noah, who's also my, who's my friend. So I have to say that to me, writing his vision was to me the entirety of the experience.
All right, Maddie, bring us home.
Oh God, pressure's on. I feel like everyone else has said such wonderful things, but I do think it's been such a treat to have this movie come out at this particular moment. And I think, Noah, it's such a testament to your, like, sensitivity and intelligence and intuition that you saw what was coming somehow in terms of our relationship to workers and labor and equity and treating human workers with respect and dignity. And it's so sweet to see all of you, even though we're all in separate rooms and separate boxes on the internet. It was just such a joy to make it. And the fact that now it feels so resonant, like politically now, is icing on the cake, that we were having a fun time, but then it also feels like, the movie has something really important to say, which is, all you can hope for, I think, with making art and having it actually be relevant to the world that it's engaging with. It was a delight. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to all of you, and thank you, Chris and Film Threat, for putting this all together. It's been such a sweet evening of seeing all these faces that I've really missed. It's been such a whack year. I'll leave it with that. It's been such a whack year.
Let me just close out and say, echoing everyone, but it's been mentioned a couple times, the crew, and Dean, you mentioned that I had the allegiance of the crew, but really what happened with our crew is we came in and we were purposeful about wanting to reflect what we were talking about in the film in the way we treated each other on set, and not make a film about the exploitation of workers and then exploit our crew in the process, which happens a lot. So just to mention quickly, if people are more interested in that, as Babe said, there's this essay on Talk House that can read about how we made the film and more about that. And we have this handbook that we adapted from a lab in Newfoundland, a marine plastics lab that does anti-colonial feminist science. And we took the handbook they used to deal with their relations as a science lab and applied it to filmmaking. And that's how we kind of organized the way we made the film. And that's on our website, couple3films.com/handbook. And people can look into that. They can use it for themselves, for their own productions, and adapt it and iterate their own values. We encourage that. And so by doing this as a team and kind of like aligning on that before we even made the film, I think it made for this kind of set. And I think people watching have a sense maybe tonight of like how much joy there was really making this film. And so that's across the board. Everyone brought that. Dean was, it was an all-time dream to work with him, knowing him for so many years and writing this film for him and Maddie. Maddie was just a joy to work with every day. And Babe, my brother, to work with him as well. And everyone here. I mean, my God. Taylor, my wife, to work with her as a producer of the film. Jesse, my longtime oldest friend from synagogue. Joe Varka, who we cut our teeth on making commercials. What can I say? Thank you, guys. Arliss, my God, Arliss, my stepfather, my father. It's truly a family affair, and thank you everyone for watching. And Chris, I have no real relation to you, but I feel like we have a lot. You're muted. You're unfortunately muted.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Noah. Thank you to everyone. This was a blast. I need to read that handbook now because it's apparently made people tear up. So I need to discover that. Hillary was pointing that out in the chat. So thank you to everyone. And I will direct message Andrew Yang from Twitter because he needs to see this film because what you did know is you told a fictional story that is everything that he's been talking about. So I really think that he needs to see it. So anyways, someone says now we can have thunderous applause. So thank you to everyone. This was a blast, and especially the people in the chat, very passionate. And I'm just so excited to see what you do next. This entire team, it really was amazing to just be a part of it and hang out with you for a night and rewatch the film. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you all.
Take care, everybody, and see the film again. You can see it again without all the commentary. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.